Welcome back to F1 2016 Career Mode, and we're here for the 16th round of the Formula 1 World Championship, and it's my personal favourite track of the calendar. You don't hear many people say that about this one. It's the Malaysian Grand Prix in Sepang, debuting on the calendar in 1999. It's become one of those great tracks, and to be honest, it's one of the very few Herman Tilke tracks I actually like. We are looking this weekend to try and finally start a good rivalry with Kimi Räikkönen, as we've lost the last two. We're also going to look to be building towards that big upgrade that I was talking about, like a couple of weekends ago. Now, the issue being here is I recorded that at the start of practice, and then I must have done something else, and just botched it. But I can tell you from practice that we did the acclimatization for 30 points. We got perfect, or rather purple, tyre wear and qualifying pace. We were really off the pace, like it was bad, so that wasn't a good indicator for this weekend, as this is my favourite track and I want to do well here. But you can see we're in qualifying and it's absolutely lashing it down, as it usually does in Malaysia. It's usually baking hot or a monsoon, you don't really get much different there. But we got 11th. In Q1, so not too bad. Obviously, just trying to, when it's wet in Q1, you just want to get through. K-Mag, though, K-Mag was over a second faster than us, up in 5th place. So Kevin Magnussen doing very well for himself there. And we got the Ferraris 1 and 2, the Mercedes 3 and 4, Red Bull. So K-Mag splitting Mercedes and Red Bull there, so fairly impressive, as we're going to look to head on over to Q2 fairly shortly. But I can tell you it was rain affected for the entirety of qualifying, so Q1, Q2 and Q3 all in the heavy rain, so that exactly wasn't a personally wasn't exactly the most enjoyable experience. But obviously, we got used to the track conditions in the heavy rain. It allowed us to build towards a better laps and going faster. So here we go. We've now actually got Verstappen is on the front row here, provisionally as part of Q2. We're coming to the end of our first lap here. I made a slight setup change, applied a bit more wing to the front of the car because I wasn't getting quite as much turn-ins I wanted on the first lap. Here we come out the final corner, not quite as reprofiled as in IRL this game, but we go third to begin with, so we're less than a second off of P1. And as we quickly flash the Q2 results, we eventually came 6th, just over a second off the pace. No major issues there. Here's the end of our second lap in Q3. We get it very wrong coming into one of the hardest corners in Formula 1. That whole section where you've got to get it slowed down, and keep turning it in. We're currently 10th at the moment, but we are 1.1 seconds up on our delta as we come flying towards the final corner. Under that Fly Emirates bridge there, we're going to brake just before the 100-metre board in the rain to get it nice and slowed down, get it in nicely, clip the curb on the inside, build. Had to take 2 bites of the cherry on acceleration, but here we go. We're going to get quite close to Verstappen's time. What is it? It's a 52.4, and that puts us 5th. I did look to go for a second lap, but I did butcher it absolutely horribly. So, in the rain, we've managed to get ourselves there. 5th place, we are behind both Red Bulls, a Ferrari and a Mercedes. But we are ahead of your likes of Williams Racing and McLaren Honda. I'm a little bit disappointed that Kevin Magnussen couldn't sort of carry on and continue his performance from the first part of qualifying. But, the AI can be just one of those things, really. But I'm looking forward to this. It's my favourite track on the calendar. We do run the harder tyres here, so we'll never see what we'll be able to do with the strategy, as we do have free calls due to the rain. But now, it's time for the Malaysian Grand Prix.
A young Spaniard named Fernando Alonso sat at the front of the grid here over a decade ago now. The first flash of greatness in a race that also gave us the maiden win for Kimi Räikkönen. The Malaysian Grand Prix is an event for gifted racers to climb to the top, and for those on the sidelines to find new talents. 5 lefts and 10 rights make up the 15 corners of Sepang's 3.4-mile circuit, a track where the weather always threatens to play a deciding factor. The drivers will be subjected to forces in excess of 4G and heavy braking zones in 4 of these corners, 2 of which come at the end of DRS zones into turn 1 and to turn 15. And alongside me today to talk you through all that is Anthony Davidson. And welcome again. It's good to be back in Kuala Lumpur, isn't it? A lovely country, Malaysia, lovely circuit, and a race that tends to be quite hard to predict.
Yeah, it does indeed. There are a lot of high-energy corners that make the rear tyres suffer around here. Coupled with the excessive heat, that makes it difficult to keep your tyres in the right operating window. And of course, in previous years, we've come here very early in the season, which throws a potential reliability variable in there as well.
This is a really good starting position for us. Let's try not to lose it.
I love the faith from the engineer trying not to lose it. So, because we have free choice of tyre to begin with here, you know, we can look to go, we don't have to start on softer tyres, so we can go on the hard tyres. And I think that's going to be the plan, just make as little pit stops as possible. I did not like the look of that second stop there, so we're going to be starting on the hard compound tyre. Apparently that wasn't a very popular decision with the top of the grid, because we've got Ricciardo ahead of us and Rosberg behind us. Interestingly enough, I believe Lewis Hamilton opted for the medium tyres, to my understanding. I think if we have a quick look there, yes, you can see him on the white striped tyre behind Daniel Ricciardo, who's on the softs. So it's going to be an interesting run into turn one. It's going to be crucial for us because obviously our car's not as fast as those around us. We're on the slower tyre, so here we go, building to those 5 red lights, and the Malaysian Grand Prix is go. Ricciardo gets an absolute beast of a launch off the line. We've got Rosberg, who's coming up behind us now. Bottas as well on the right hand side, coming up behind Lewis Hamilton into turn one. Ricciardo looks to make a move on Kimi Räikkönen. We're going to go very late. We've tapped the back of the Red Bull now, going out wide. And that gives Bottas a good run. We're going to get squeezed between the Williams and the Ferrari, but we get a great run on the racing line, and that puts us up into third place. It's a Red Bull 1-2 as Max Verstappen leads Daniel Ricciardo, Kimi Räikkönen fourth, and I believe Valtteri Bottas slotted into fifth as we come up to turn 4 for the very first time there. And I think the problem that we're going to have now on the harder tyres as Bottas makes some moves on Raikkonen is the fact they're going to be a lot slower but a lot more durable. So I think we're going to see the Red Bulls pretty much drive off into the distance for these first couple of laps. We run it a little bit wide on the exit of turn 6 as we come towards the double right-hander. Here we go, end of lap 2. We're coming out the final corner. Verstappen and Ricciardo going very fast there. We're already in the high 138s as we're in the mid 140s. DRS has become available on this lap. Bottas going to look to give it a go. The Williams, that straight line speed into turn 1. The thing I love about turn 1 here is it's so nice and long running, and you get a good opportunity to send it down the inside into turn 2, which is exactly what we've done. Bottas tries to get a good run on us though, and he's done it nicely on his soft tyres. We're going to slip in behind him for some of that lovely OP F1 2016 slipstream, and we're going to send one down the inside of turn 4. Bottas just left the door wide open, and we're thank you very much. We're going to take that, and we're going to slip back into third place. Here we go now, end of lap 3, back in the straight line. Bottas taking the slipstream. He's going to have the DRS open. He's going to the outside this time. Kimi Räikkönen also looking dangerous in our mirrors as we brake late. Keep the nose in there. Bottas doesn't turn in. We keep it nice and tight. Try and block him off a little into turn 2. Don't really give much option. He's too busy fighting Räikkönen behind to have another go at us there. So we've escaped it one more time. But here we go, end of lap 4. 2 DRS zones on this straight. Kimi Räikkönen going to look to give it a go into turn 15, the final corner. We give him a wide run so we can look to get a better exit. Slip into the slipstream of the Ferrari. Even though he's got the DRS, we've got the slipstream, which is pretty damn powerful on this game. We're obviously in rich mixture, and you can see we're gaining ever so slightly. We're gaining late move down the inside. Raikkonen sees us, doesn't turn in, enables us to take that lovely line, keep to the racing line. Bottas gets back through, and we retain that third position there. But we are running out of excess fuel as we begin lap 6. You can see the time start coming down, but the Red Bulls have got a 9-second advantage over us as Bottas once again sends one down the inside this time. He's done very well to stay ahead so far. We're nowhere near as close as we were last time, and he's done us. We've taken quite a desperation line there, taking out the bollard, but Bottas is now definitely ahead of us. He did a lot better into turn 1 that time around. Well, the Williams driver now with a lot more straight line speed going to look to drive off into the distance. We're very strong into the braking zone of turn 4 there, so I think that might be a popular spot for us during the race. Bottas has done us, and we're now in the dirty air of him off that final corner. Hamilton now on his medium tyres looking to try and make his way up the field because he would have been stuck behind other cars that I was holding up. You see Bottas peel into the pits there at the end of lap 7. Hamilton's done us into the final corner, and his car I think is going to be just too fast for us in the slipstream. We're not going to be able to gain anything on him here. As Hamilton takes the lead, we're up into second, so both Red Bulls have been on the pits then. Vettel must have started on the medium tyres as well behind us, as he's now in third place in that Ferrari. And I think they're going to go 1 or 2 laps longer than those that have been going on the soft compound tyres. As we now cut to the end of the lap. Oh, sorry, this is lap 11 now. Hamilton and everyone else around us has pit. We were scheduled to come in a lap ago, but we're now fighting Daniel Ricciardo, who's on another set of soft tyres. I'm pretty sure Ricciardo only pit on lap 6. Therefore, he's going to have to look to make another stop soon. Daniel Ricciardo is ahead of us. We're in the slipstream, over 200 miles an hour into turn 1. Diving move on the Red Bull. Ricciardo looked as if, like all the others, was going to turn in. Turned out of the move. He shouldn't have done it. Held his ground. He left the door open. We're going to take that opportunity. Swoop straight back through. But Ricciardo must have come in first and got the undercut on Max, so he won't be happy with Red Bull allowing that to happen, as he was the lead driver. Here we go, into lap 12. We've now gone 2 laps longer. We try and take the faster line into the pits, but due to the worn front tyres, we've scrubbed very wide. Quite a bad pit entry here, but we get a nice warning for the pit line, but I didn't really know where it was, so I still ended up coming in super cautious here. This is our first pit stop of only 2 this afternoon. Daniel Ricciardo is already on his second one, so Ricciardo peels in. He was close behind us. Hopefully we won't get held as we come in. We're going to put a set of medium compound tyres on rather than the hards. I sort of changed that mid-flow there, so that was to try and give us a better run mid-race, but Ricciardo has jumped us, unfortunately, and that's not really what we needed, because Ricciardo has now got as many pit stops left. Oh no, he's on soft tyres. So Ricciardo has got, well, definitely 1 more pit stop to make, maybe more. But he's done us there, and we're going to need to look to get ahead of him as soon as we can. We just got out of Jenson Button, who's on the hard tyres. Daniel Ricciardo now, we're in the slipstream. We're going to have to get him into turn 4, which is going to be our favourite spot so far this race. Aside from turn 1 defending, beautifully aggressive move there down the inside, and that is us up back into 9th place. As Hamilton now goes fastest, and Vettel. So I assume they've They peeled in, and they must have just used a super undercut against us, as Daniel Ricciardo gets past us into the final corner. So we're just going to have to repeat what we've been doing, sit in the slipstream, hopefully get him in. We're gaining as we cut across. There we go, down the inside of Daniel Ricciardo into turn 1. Beautiful move, push him out, but he's managed to hold it really well, gets a really good drive out of turn 1. He's pushed us wide, we're on the grass, and Daniel Ricciardo breaking out that true Aussie grit as he pushes us out and gets into 8th place. Beautiful move from Daniel Ricciardo, getting the elbows out, which is what I want to see AI doing. You know, they spent most of the race diving out the way of us in turn 1 and not turning in, and not get your elbows out, get stuck in properly. Now, here's what I was talking about. This is Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel, who had managed to build an entire pit stop gap to us as after they pit before us in the first round, and now they must have gone on to another set of mediums, and now they're on hard tyres. So that means they're not going to be pitting again, as me and Vettel get very close to each other into turn 9. Vettel now getting good run on his fresh hard tyres. Our mediums are running out of life here. We've got the, strictly speaking, we had the wider racing line, but Vettel's completely done us around the outside there. So good racing from Vettel. The AI are proving really well. You know, I don't know if there's been a recent patch to this game, or we've got it not very right into this corner here. I think we're going to be looking to come into the pits either this lap or the next one. Verstappen's back in the race lead, so clearly we haven't shown great pace on the mediums to allow Vettel and Hamilton to build such a gap to us. Here we go, we brake late, so that indicates we're definitely coming in this lap. Hopefully we can get a better pit entry. Yep, bit more front grip this time around. And we're trying to take the line a bit more aggressively, but again, didn't quite get it right. And I think this middle stint has just shown us that our pace clearly wasn't there at all, this Grand Prix, in fact, because unfortunately I didn't think, like, the mediums were at the end of their life. I didn't think softs would get us to the end, so unfortunately I just put another set of hard tyres on at the end because I didn't have any more mediums. And I think we're just going to see here, we're currently in 9th. Massa doesn't have a dot on the mini-map for some reason, so he's gone up to 10th. And K-Mag and Alonso have gone past us, so now we're down into 12th, which is very disappointing, but hopefully on these fresh tyres we'll be able to attack and get a position back. But as you're about to see, unfortunately that didn't happen. We lapped 28 and we couldn't catch them. In fact, Alonso did get past Magnussen in the end, and we're going to come home for a disappointing 12th. Quite honestly, I have no explanation as to why. Just my favourite race on the calendar, and yeah, the engineer said it well, just not good enough, basically.
So, another fantastic victory for the Silver Arrows. And I have to wonder, Anthony Davidson, just what set them apart from the competition here.
The difference was clearly in the strategy. You could tell they'd done a lot of work on the pit wall to really optimise each stint and get the most out of the tyres. And it highlights just how much of a team sport this really is. But credit to the driver as well, though. There's no good having a well-oiled machine behind the scenes without a talented hand on the wheel, of course.
And here are our podium drivers today after that excellent race. They've excelled here, as they so often do, and it's a well-deserved victory. Mercedes, then, are on top today.
Well, there we go. Hamilton's two-stop proving very effective. Max Verstappen did the 2 as well in the end. Daniel Ricciardo's three-stop definitely didn't prove very well. I mean, he jumped Max in the first round of pit stops, but Vettel started down in 16th and he came 4th. So what a strategy from Ferrari for Vettel there. And just once again, it wasn't good enough today. Our lap times just weren't there. We ended up 50 seconds off the lead. Just the Mercedes were so quick, and honestly, I just don't have an explanation. I would love to know why we were just so uncompetitive this weekend, but I think not running the softest tyre in the race was a bad strategy call, but there wasn't really much else I could look to do, honestly. So I don't know. I honestly don't know. Unfortunately, that means that we've taken a hit to how close we were to Hamilton. We actually got an achievement for being 75% as overachieving for the team. So that was a consolidation prize. We're now equal on points with Kimi Räikkönen. What I was actually looking to do is not seize the R&D on the car because I really wanted to be in title contention and do well and use as much resource in the car as possible to be able to challenge for the world title, because we've still got 5 races left. You know, it's certainly not out of the realms of us being able to win this title. Now, we would be lucky being 66 points behind, but on any given day, you never know. So, regardless, we consolidate 4th in the Constructors' Championship. Obviously, Red Bull chasing down Ferrari after their good weekend. We're going to build those resource points. I don't think we're going to do anything here, but definitely look to, when we go to Japan, obviously build on the resource points there, and I think get a big upgrade. And as I mentioned about Raikkonen, yeah, he stomped all over us this weekend. He really did. But we're still overachieving in the team, even though not great by any sort of means. And yeah, I was looking forward to this one. It was my favourite race of the season, and I blew it. Apparently, I just didn't do very well at all. I don't know what we're going to do for the upgrades. I think I'm going to have to give that more thought in Suzuka, which is a very technical track. So you're going to need, you need a lot out of your car there. Obviously, engine, a Renault engine, you're going to expect me to want power. But I don't know what else. The car around Sepang wasn't great in the fast corners, so that might indicate maybe towards downforce and weight reduction. But we'll see. Japan's another weekend. We can bounce back strong off of this Malaysian Grand Prix. But guys, thank you very much for watching. Do leave a like if you have enjoyed and comment any feedback down below. Make sure to enable them notifications and subscribe if you want to be the first to be notified about content coming to this channel. I will see you all next time.